BMW E46 Turbo. E46 Turbo build. The very roots to my YouTube channel. Now, all these years later, with a whole new persona and much more knowledge and experience behind these fingertips, I've came back to do just that. Another turbo build on a good friend's personally owned BMW E46. This here is the car in question. As it currently sits, we have some engine upgrades including 3.0 bolt-ons. The car has been MS43 converted, spicy tune, headers, the usual. It performs very well. As far as suspension upgrades, we did 330 trailing arms, all new bushings back there, polyurethane subframe bushings and differential bushings. We have a trunk to subframe reinforcement brace, 330 brakes, which include Zimmerman rotors and Hawk HPS pads, some coilovers, and other odds and ends. So now the time has come for force induction. After preparing the car, we will be installing a bottom mount turbocharger setup on this vehicle. I want to now discuss the parts in which will be used for this build. Starting off with the hot side, we have a genuine SPA bottom mount cast turbo manifold. I really enjoy these SPA manifolds because they come cut in between each runner, which helps avoid cracking and it gives flex where it needs it whenever it becomes hot. We paired that with a GT35 Max Peating Rods Street Performance Turbo. This was sent to me in regards to a review, so I figured the time is now to try it out. Typically, these China turbos actually perform pretty dang well and seem to last, so we'll give it a whirl. We have here a bottom mount turbo engine mount with its paired mount. This will bolt to the engine, obviously, and will give us room to run the piping for the turbo. We also have a genuine precision 40mm wastegate. Back over here, we have a M50 intake manifold, which, for this iteration, we're not going to use. We're going to use a M54 B30 intake manifold, as they flow just fine. We're going to save this for higher horsepower, 500 and above, I plan to use this for. Fuel system. The fuel pump, we have a Deechworks 300, which is 340 liters per hour. This should flow plenty of fuel for this build. It also has an installation kit, which will help me put this into the original E46 sending unit. Here we have some genuine Deca 850cc fuel injectors. Some like them, others don't. May or may not be swapping those out. NGK BKR 7E spark plugs, part number 4644. These are a popular go-to for boost. Down here we have a genuine PMAS HPX MAF, which is also another popular go-to for force induction on this platform. This right here is a custom boost and AFR gauge, which actually gets installed into the original E46 gauge cluster. So there will be no bulky gauges floating around the dash or the interior. Now, to hold the additional power, we have a twin disc clutch setup from Hopwood Motorsports. This is rated for 1,000 newton meters, which is roughly 740 foot-pounds of torque. This should work out pretty dang good. What I really enjoy about this flywheel and clutch setup is not only does it hold good power, it also has a like factory pedal feel when you're pressing it with your foot. There's no crazy stiff pedal. Some various fittings and lines for the feed and drain of the turbo. This here is a vibrant oil feed fitting, which includes thread-in restrictors, so you can play around with the oil restriction to the turbo in case it causes excessive smoking. Pretty cool. Over here we have a Treadstone intercooler, which should do the job very well. Right beside it we have various gaskets for the turbo and turbo manifold. When it comes to these perforated style gaskets, we love to do this with them. They are junk. They will blow apart on you. Do not use those. You want to source proper gaskets, which I currently have coming. And then back over here, I forgot to mention this, these are detents and springs for the ZF5 transmission, which is in the car, the 5-speed manual. It is known to have 5th gear lean problems. That is due to sticky detent springs, so we like to replace all the associated detents for each gear to give it a nice crispy shifting experience. I honestly hate replacing those, they kind of suck. But at least they're getting done, and the transmission should feel immensely better compared to its current state. Overall, quality parts which should work together very well. I cannot stress enough to not cheap out for basically anything when it comes to a turbo project. Injectors, fuel pump, hoses, all can lead to a damaged engine and not overall reliable fun. You don't want that. I almost forgot to mention this. BMW Z3 oil pan. If you're wondering why, it's because a Z3 has this baffle from factory. This baffle right here is much better than the E46 baffle. I'll show you a photo right here. Look at that thing. That is hardly a baffle. So, we go to this Z3 oil pan. I also plan to put the oil drain from the turbocharger on this pan. As if I don't have enough projects to tend to, let's toss in a turbo install into the mix, right? I'm going to begin by dismantling probably the front end. I'm going to remove the headers, which are on the engine right now. Actually, wait, no, the very first thing is probably getting the car off the ground. I need to do that. Mandarin flavored Doritos is probably the best flavor out there. If you cannot agree with that, you and I are going to have some serious problems. These ain't no sissy jack stands, buddy. These them blackjack 6-tonners. She wants to play games. I'm not doing it tonight. Jeez. Oh, you slimy bitch.
Krusty Krab, it's the pizza turkey with me.
Here is a pro tip. Always mark your oxygen sensor harnesses for bank 1 and bank 2 because they are the same plug and you can easily mix up these sensors and the car will not be very happy if you do that.
Oh, yeah.
Only have one stud stuck in the head. Right there. That's not bad at all. The rest of them came right out. Look at that. Look at all the room for activities now. Big old turbine charger, buddy. Come on out of there, buddy. I just want to talk to you real quick. I just want to talk to you. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I gotta set up my engine engine support bar here. Hold this engine up so I can lower my jack down. I've had this thing for years, man. This was one of those eBay buys from like 2017. There we go. She's now supported. And now that we have room down there to mock up the turbo, I just gotta wait on the hardware to install it. That is all for tonight's video. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. In part 2, I'm probably going to remove the transmission and begin replacing the detents. And then prepare for the twin disc clutch to be installed. I want to replace the rear main seal actually because I think it's dripping. There's still a lot more to do. Tonight was merely some disassembly. We haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes of this build yet. Hopefully you all will be joining me for this process. I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.